day, good evening, everybody.
day,
I'm
good
Kevin
week.
McCabe. This is Drone Economy, where we follow developments in the world of drones and autonomous transportation and provide insight into our autonomous future.
Very good. I'm Mark Condell, and welcome.
Yep. So we have, as usual, have a few topics to discuss today. We could flip a coin for who goes first, but I'm willing to volunteer. So I'll jump right into it.
That sounds good.
Okay. Here we go. So this was an article posted in the last couple of days on transportation topics news. Unfortunately, I don't have any video to go along with this, but I'm getting there.
It's okay.
But this was about John Porcari, who was is an advisor to the Biden-Harris campaign and was formerly a deputy secretary of transportation under the Obama administration. And he forecasts that the Biden-Harris administration will really help to accelerate autonomous transportation. He expressed optimism about advancing a major infrastructure package. He said the Biden White House would aim to, quote, pursue a dynamic, transformative infrastructure agenda and would focus on safety on freight and commuter corridors, initiatives to support regional economies, and focus on severe weather resilience. And under this administration's leadership, transportation agencies would also adopt a national framework for autonomous vehicles while enhancing venues for innovation and technological advancements. Wow. So I thought that was very encouraging. I did not see anything that noted that the Trump administration was necessarily discouraging of this type of expansion in that industry. But I think that a complete infrastructure package that includes that is really going to accelerate autonomous transportation, and surely will include the drone economy as well.
No, I think you're right. The Trump administration has not discouraged it, I would say, but they have not provided. I mean, the real levers are subsidizing it, right? Where they give a discount to companies and to people if they purchase an electric vehicle. A lot of those have expired in the last couple of years under the Trump administration. And the other one is giving just, I guess, cash to those companies, if incentivize them to develop those technologies. And then infrastructure-wise, if they develop railways and highway systems that can be electrified or have electric charging stations, that can help. They can push them in the right direction without even spending money. They could just give breaks on taxes, which is future money that wouldn't happen anyway. So it's good stuff.
Correct. Yeah, and another point of this is expanding broadband access and surely investing in 5G, right? So that's just gonna, to your point, build the infrastructure that's needed for this advancement.
That's right. Wow, it's good stuff. Good,
and renewable energy too. Yes. Obviously, big proponent of that, and I think drones fall into that realm.
Absolutely.
So,
good.
Yeah. Good news there to help accelerate progress.
Interested to see what happens in the first first 100 days of the next administration, to see what actually develops. Many administrations have talked about infrastructure times, but not many have gone forward. But hopefully this time it will.
But I feel like generally discussions about infrastructure refer to our broken roads and bridges and
yes.
and crumbling tunnels and all that, and less thought, or at least discussion or public discussion, about the technology that's going to be needed for these autonomous networks to work.
That's right. For drone corridors, and hey, you know, if there's flying taxis all over, you don't need a new bridge. You just need a lot of landing pads.
Right.
So thinking in that direction.
Yeah, and I want to talk about UATs, which are UAS traffic management, or UAM maybe, but I'll get to that.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead with your topic?
We can talk about it now if you want.
Well, I actually had linked it with the discussion with Adam Bree about advancing some of the current things that we already have. And I had found this article about, it was UTM, not UAT, UTM. And the discussion about building in that safety management and logistics management, that autonomous system that's going to be needed for drones to drive together, right, as a network.
Yes.
I guess similar to autonomous vehicles on the ground.
That's right.
It can't just be one or two. It's got to be an entire network.
That's right. So, like a train, car train, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. So this this company has set up what they call LBVLOS. So it's a local beyond visual line of sight where they can test these types of networks. It's actually based in central New York. Company is New Air, I believe. But they're trying to solve the issues of safety and reliability in a network to help accelerate loosening of regulations and public acceptance of drone usage within our economy.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that the reason I linked it to the Adam Bree discussion was because one of the takeaways that I took away from it from that discussion was that he felt like the current regulation in place is reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
That it's upon the companies currently working on this technology to demonstrate the value and to demonstrate the safety. And then regulators will respond to that. And once customers see the value in that, they're going to want it more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to force regulations to go in place that will allow these types of things.
No, that makes sense. So it's like he doesn't feel it should be rushed through until they prove their case, without a shadow of a doubt, which makes sense.
Right.
And I think that'll be, well, I've heard that in other countries besides the United States, like Australia and some European countries and China, the regulations are more lax. So they're testing out a lot of these things there first before here. But at the same time, you're right. And I think both you and I have seen a lot of the stuff that the regulators, aviation regulators have in place are for emergency response and delivery type situations, where that's where it's being tested at first. That they'll give them beyond visual line of sight for those type of vehicles. In fact, when I'm going to jump to it, one of the things I wanted to discuss was a defibrillator. I can't say the defibrillator. Defibrillator. Yeah. That's the word I'm looking for. So let me get to this. We could jump back to that Skydio discussion. We have, where was it? I lost my article here. Here it is. So
was it
EverDrone this is the EverDrone.
Oh, EverDrone. Okay.
Yep. So EverDrone, they have been delivering automated external defibrillators, or AEDs, I'm going to call them from now on, by drone. That's actually happening right now to people who are experiencing cardiac arrest in Sweden. They've been doing this since June. So they have a system set up when an emergency call comes in that appears to be for someone experiencing cardiac arrest. A drone with a defibrillator, an AED, is deployed to their location. And then, so right now there's 275,000 people have a heart attack each year in Europe, and only 10% of these people they have a cardiac arrest outside of a hospital. Only 10% of them survive. And if they have a defibrillator, that jumps up to 70%. So this is a crucial test, and this is why they got waivers for beyond the visual line of sight. So they have these sit up around the city, and when the emergency call comes in that there's a cardiac arrest, a drone equipped with a defibrillator is dispatched at the same time as an ambulance, and so it just flies over all the traffic. And then when it arrives, it hovers 30 meters in the air, doesn't drop down, and then it lowers the defibrillator to the ground. So it just stays out of any room of crashing into someone or knocking someone over, shows up, drops it, and then it has they can direct the person through voice who is helping out and how to use the defibrillator on someone right there until the ambulance arrives. So it's amazing. And it's been so successful that they're expanding it to Denmark next year.
I feel like I remember seeing an article on this, and this related to the telemedicine, to where there was actually interaction with a bystander there who was assisting the patient or the victim of this heart attack, right?
Yep.
And then the doctor could actually walk them through how to use the defibrillator. You would hope that someone's there, that a loved one or that this person knows, be able to treat them. But it could be a completely random stranger is just willing to help.
And I think it works. Like literally, they just have to attach it to the chest, and it starts working on its own.
Wow,
I think that's the way that
amazing.
An AED works, I think. But the whole thing is just out of the Jetsons. It's amazing how it just flies over there ahead of the ambulance in a couple of a minute or two. It gets there after the phone call comes in. And,
so you could really imagine ambulances with a drone, say, on top of it, right? That dispatches along with the ambulance, goes ahead of it. The ambulance has to traverse through traffic.
That's right.
And then the drone can, once the ambulance gets there, it can connect back with the ambulance and ride back to the hospital with it.
That's right. And if it flies ahead, usually there's two people in the ambulance, two technicians. And the one that's not driving can talk and see through the drone what's happening and start communicating. So they have a much better idea of the situation before they show up. It breaks the way that delivery is done. And those type of things will be the first that all over. They'll have no visual line of sight. It'll be automated services, no visual line of sight. Very cool.
Did you want to show this video?
This is it. Okay, so
yeah. Got it. Okay. Oh, I see. It's like it looked like it was zipped in there, but I guess they drop it down and then someone can unzip it.
So this looks like a DJI type of drone, but I don't know if they converted it or it's theirs.
Yeah.
But look how fast it just goes over all the roads and the traffic.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you could see it beyond a defibrillator too.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that thing drops pretty quick, right? But it could be emergency medicine or an EpiPen
or lunch
for our allergy situation. Yeah. Right.
Yes, all of that. Absolutely. This is funny. It just drops. I thought it was lowered on a rope or something. It just literally is just kicked out.
What happened there? Well, no, it did.
Yeah.
It lowered on a cord.
Oh, did it? I
then
thought
the
it just
cord,
like dropped it out.
yeah, the cord clipped off.
Oh, okay.
And then the drone took off. Actually, that's similar to the demonstration that I saw of the delivery I was going to talk about, which is way less serious. But
oh, you must go deeper problems for each thing we're showing.
Yeah, but you got to bring it back to the surface every
That's
now
right.
and again too, right? I should have had the video for this. I'm gonna check and see if I can get to it real quick. But I don't know, is there anything else about
But that was the
about medical opportunity?
Oh, about medical opportunity. Well, I just had an article that I saw that discussed in general how it's just a force multiplier and lowering it, which is, we've seen this in a lot of industries, but with a lot of medical, they need helicopters. So that just the reduction in the helicopter cost alone is incredible. Even if you have a pilot, that is flying the drone, which is required by law now, you have it's still the amount of buying the helicopter versus a fleet of drones, and then the noise level it creates around is much lower. So the purchase,
noise pollution and air pollution,
everything about it, and also its ability to get closer to places is good, and actually faster in many ways because the helicopter does need some clearance to go in. So all around for emergency type of operations, it's much more efficient. Obviously, not so much transporting a patient until it's bigger that's actually a taxi type of service. But for the moment, there's a lot of ways for emergencies that it could be useful because it still has eyes through cameras. It has a voice and ears. So it does a lot of what you'd need someone who shows up to do in a rush.
Right.
And as we said, many cases, ambulances, fire trucks, police cars, police motorcycles, all could show up later. So it's a game changer in all first responder type scenarios. That's really what that was about. Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably, I would say, in the top 3 of biggest opportunities in the drone economy, as I see it. I mean, I think it's going to be one of those sectors that's that we use first, and that helps with the adaptation and acceptance of drones within our economy.
That's right. I think so.
Right, because once we start saving lives, then be like you said, hey, I could get my ice cream delivered that way too.
Yes, and most of the emergency services, they don't need to be autonomous, which needs more regulatory approval. They could be driven by a pilot. So it's something they can put in right now. So it's pretty good all around. Autonomous takes time for people to accept, but it'll get there. So that's what I had for that. I don't think I have too many other first responder type ones. I have a number of things related to taxis and cargos.
All right. Well, I'll just on the delivery service front, I'll just bring up my next one, which was about ice cream drone delivery.
Yes.
So this turns out this is a little bit dated, but it was CNN reported on it this week. Huh. This is a partnership between Unilever, which owns Ben and Jerry's. They own Magnum. They own Klondike. They sell ice cream in 63 countries, and they own like a fifth of global ice cream sales. Or right, so
they are ice
big.
Cream.
They are ice cream. Yeah, they're everything we know that's ice cream. And they're partnering with EverDrone Europe to deliver ice cream or look for solutions to delivering ice cream. They actually have an Ice Cream Now delivery company,
Wow.
but they focus mostly on ground deliveries. But as I researched this a little bit more, it looks like this might have been a headline back in February, in which there's a company called Manna in Dublin, Ireland, that partnered with Ben and Jerry's and then a local Thai restaurant, and they were delivering throughout the Dublin area. Well, actually, I think what I read was that there was one central location within University College Dublin in which the pickup was occurring. But they would ship out hot food from the restaurant and then also Ben and Jerry's ice cream. And it was a hit as far as I know.
It worked.
and it worked.
And it worked, and it just kind of landed and gave them, and then you just took your ice cream.
Oh, well, actually, that's why I brought it up with the last video, was that what I saw was that it would hover over, and you would have to confirm delivery via an app. So it would go to your home location or wherever location that you ordered the delivery to, and then it would hover over until you confirmed delivery, I guess, by eyesight of the drone. But I think it said it gave you some options like your driveway or your front door, or not your front door, your backyard, or like in the cul-de-sac or something.
Yeah.
But then it would lower down the box via a cord, and then let that come all the way down to the ground, then release the cord from the drone.
Yeah.
And then fly away.
Pretty cool.
So just an example of drones as a service, I guess, for restaurants and delivery service.
Yes.
And I was also intrigued by this company Manna in Ireland, because the CEO, Bobby Healy, seems very passionate about it. He's a successful businessman in his own right, and he started this company just because he feels very passionate that the drone economy is going to crawl, walk, and then run.
Interesting.
And he's saying we got to crawl for a while, but it's going to pick up running soon.
So is this is Manna the ice cream company, or is that the drone delivery service?
Manna is the drone company. Yes. Drone delivery service. Right. And so, so he's actually focusing on the delivery aspect of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Really interesting. Huh. Interesting place that's happening.
So we'll see how that plays out. It's definitely a company to put on the list to keep an eye on.
Yes. Very cool. I like it. Well, I'm glad that
I had a video of it.
Ice cream delivery.
I don't know where. Yes. Well, I mean, when you do think about it,
well, it's light.
We can get most foods delivered, but ice cream has not really been much of a thing.
No, and that's
the challenge.
It's a challenge. It's
delivery
small.
Challenge for sure.
Yeah. So it's I like it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Soft serve.
We'll see where that goes.
We'll see. Video? No video. It's okay.
There is a video out there. If you just look up Manna ice cream or Ben and Jerry's delivery, I don't have it on me on hand, but it's a pretty good conceptual video that they put together.
Okay. I have something that's a little not the most exciting, but has big implications. I think they actually mentioned it a little today on that Skydio thing we listened to. It was an ARK Invest conference call that had the CEO of Skydio on it, which is pretty interesting. But I read saw this before, and I do have a video that's about the bridge inspection. You see that it's this one actually is about bridge inspections in general. It is from the Skydio point of view, so it is a little biased, but good points. So bridge inspections, they use to like inspect a bridge. They need this big truck called a snooper truck, and it's like this big crane that hangs over the bridge, and it's been very dangerous historically. A lot of accidents from it just because of the angle it's at, the weight of the machine. They have to really just get under the bridge to inspect stuff from this. It's the only vantage point. Costs about I don't know, several $100,000, like $200,000 to $500,000 for the truck itself, and then each time they inspect the bridge, it's about $4,600 for most bridges, and then they estimate another $10,000 in social costs because they have to block lanes for extended periods of time to just to inspect the bridge. So there's tons of traffic. And I think in North Carolina they started bringing in drones, and a lot of bridges use the drones now, and the prices have collapsed. The inspections are done by drone going underneath, so that way they can see if they need to bring out the truck. So traffic is drastically reduced, the risk is drastically reduced, and the cost for each inspection is 75% less. So it's
oh my god,
look at that thing. It's insane. It's insane.
I'm sure that this guy is like, thank God they solved this problem, and I don't have to do this job anymore.
I know. It's really nuts. So now
I
this
think
guy
I
just
saw
does
this
it.
video. It uses some like infrared light too, doesn't it?
Yes. So they go
monitor
around.
the bridges.
They get very close, and then now, so they were doing. So they've been using drones for this in the last year. A lot of places, which saves on bringing out that snooper truck. But the next level is not having a pilot at all, where it's just an automated drone, because they go through literally the same inspection every time. So they can pre-program it to go underneath there, and they put it in a little cage as it flies, so it could get very close, very close. This is showing that little area it's going underneath that you could not do without the automated drone, because a pilot would have crashed it into that. It's just human nature.
See, this is where Skydio is really breaking ground.
That's right.
With the autonomy.
That's right. And they can't. And literally, if you try to crash it, you can't, because it'll know just to bounce away from those bridges. So it's pretty amazing.
Did you find that video of Skydio versus Tesla?
I still have to look at that.
You got it. It's great.
Yes. I definitely have to look at that. We'll have to maybe show that one episode.
Yeah.
But I did find a article that I forgot who wrote it, but they had a good case against Skydio. I thought some of it was a little flawed, but they say Skydio oversells in a way, because you can't legally fly those things 99% of the cases without a pilot. You can't, even though it's autonomous, you still can't fly it without a pilot by law. So it's sort of promising something that doesn't exist yet, and those laws will take a long time to change. I feel that that's true, but they are testing it out in a lot of other countries where you can. And also the laws might change faster because of it. And also, for first responders, I think they'll waive the laws in a lot of those places. So it's still amazing technology overall. So the bridge one, prime example of how it just saves time, lives, and headaches for everyone in traffic, and tons of expenses.
Well, that's where Adam Bree, the CEO of Skydio, that's where he's saying he sees the next 5 years will just be internet connected drones, right? That what do we say? They self-fly and they live in their own box.
That's right.
Live in their own cage.
Autonomous cloud connected devices that live in their own cage.
Right. Yeah. And so I think what he was saying is that a lot of the concepts are there and people are working on them. It's just we're going to see all that technology get a lot better within the next 5 years. And with it getting better will mean that there'll be more acceptance, there'll be more desire to have that type of technology or a flawless drone delivery.
Yeah.
And with more demand and the thought that there's more value there, that will lead to regulation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
so here, so I guess this is related to camera work more so, but this headline caught my eye, which is that the Masters used drone camera work to track golf balls as they were hit over the Masters course. Yeah. And apparently provided some really cool camera footage. They would not reveal which company they used. And all I have is like a repeating visual here from Drone DJ site, but it's pretty cool. So I'm going to just throw it up here. But I thought this is a great example of how we'll use drones in the entertainment realm.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
That is very cool.
So I don't know, they like, I think they hung out behind the golfer and then took off basically when they drove the ball and accelerated
out there. There was
really
no risk,
quickly.
No risk of hitting the ball.
Yeah, but I also you could see a drone hovering halfway through the fairway, right? And a little bit off to the side and then tracking the ball that way.
Yeah. So crazy.
Yeah.
That is so
But
nuts.
yeah, I thought that was a real interesting development in terms of, because I guess I had thought of drone use in sports as really replacing like blimps, right?
Yes,
you get the blimp view of the stadium, and that would just go away, and you'd use a drone for that. And then also, you know, how they have the cameras on the wires currently that just fly across a football field. Those would be replaced too. But I had not thought about the golf realm.
No,
but certainly could be used for that. Pretty cool.
What if they could do it? I guess they wouldn't be fast enough ways, but the like the car races, they're flying over.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's interesting.
Definitely.
I like it. That's pretty good. I don't have any sports ones. I guess we have to look at more sports ones.
Yeah,
a lot of uses for
realm,
that.
Isn't it?
I saw a quick one, really quick, is the Pentagon has a ghost fleet of ship. It's called there's two ships they're really just converted ships, but they're called the Overlord ships. Very ominous Star Wars type of name.
It's part of Space Force.
The Overlord is not part of the Space Force. Maybe one day. The Overlord ship is a large unmanned surface vessel, and one of the Overlords went through the Panama Canal transit. It went 4,700 nautical miles from the Gulf Coast to California, and it went 97% of the trip was autonomous. So I don't have any more real details on that, but I find it fascinating that, of course there was a crew, but the ship literally went all the way from the Gulf to California untouched the whole time. So that's major implications, I feel, for how the Navy might be run in the future, or even cargo ships.
Did you say through the Panama Canal?
Yeah, through the Panama Canal.
That wasn't like the 3% that they had to manage through, was it?
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean,
good question.
Look, either way, I'm sure around the canal there's quite a bit of traffic. So for it to maneuver through there,
yes,
it's pretty amazing.
Yes. So I don't know what that means for cargo. If it really means anything, is having a guy behind the cargo wheel versus it going by itself. But I guess for the military, they could have more ships out there, more. You don't need a trained captain of these military vessels as much if you have a lot of smaller military vessels going around. You could really have them go into a place fast and enforce if you need to in the future. But it's just an interesting step forward. Definitely not an approval to use it on a wide scale, but it's a big step. That's a long distance.
You know what we should look at on one of these episodes is why we have had autopilot or autonomous flight for, I don't know, 50 years.
Yes.
And are just now talking about autonomous boating and cars and drones.
I don't know. It's interesting.
It's
what's the deal? I guess there's less to hit.
Yeah. Yeah. I would think that with boating as well.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, maybe there's been, I'm guessing with submarines and the radar and all that they've had autonomy there.
Probably, and somewhat, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They probably do all the time now. Yeah. Some secret.
Either way, it seems like the airlines got a real big head start.
They did. But they're probably doing it more with radar and a GPS than true, like the modern autonomous LiDAR and all that.
Yeah. I guess they don't need to like dodge a tree and stuff.
Yes, yeah, at their height, at the weight.
Yeah.
You never know. Just another plane.
The occasional thunderstorm to navigate around.
And then big money flying around. I see a lot of big valuations. Pony.ai has hit, which is a Chinese autonomous vehicle company. They have just hit $5.3 billion valuation for an autonomous car company. Amazing. And they've had $1 billion put into them since their founding for funding, and $400 million from Toyota. And they operate in California and China. And they actually they have a Robotaxi service they've been testing out in Irvine, which I didn't even know about. But because of COVID, they shifted from Robotaxis with people in it to packages. So now they're an autonomous logistics company and Robotaxi service that they're testing.
Okay.
I don't have any details, and I should know it, but I don't on what that involves. I imagine there's a driver in it, but it's just driving on its own. It's the first I heard about this, and it's a $5 billion company.
Yeah. Same here. So they just build the autonomous system that goes in the car. They don't actually build the car, right?
That's right.
Okay. Oh, this is a cool video. Man, that is a lot of stuff to take into consideration. It really makes you appreciate the human brain, doesn't it? That we can actually maneuver a car around busy roads like this.
It is amazing, like, because even if you're zoning out, you're still aware of all this going on.
Yeah. And I think that just gives some clarity as to the huge problem to solve that is autonomous driving, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at all this stuff that it's got to consider and factor in.
That's right. Yeah, huge amounts.
So this is a self-driving car right now.
It is a self-driving car, but I don't know if it's a pilot. A driver has to sit.
Yeah. How much? Yeah.
I don't think it drives without someone in it, but it is a self-driving car. Like, just legally, someone has to be there. But it's doing it. I don't know if it's level 5.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but they're all almost there. Like, when I see all these companies, $5 billion valuation for autonomous driving, and then you see, Google and Tesla, like, this has to almost be there for them to have this much money valuation in it.
Mm-hmm.
and there was one company that I had. I just wanted last thing, and then we could stop after that. I had it here. Here it is. And this is a video also. I can text it to you. I don't know what this video is, tell you the truth. But how do I get my text to you? Okay, so let me text this and I'll talk through it.
Just send it to my email, because that's where.
Oh, your email? Sorry. I don't even know if it's worth showing, but I can just talk about it for a second. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So this three researchers out of the University of Zurich created a method for drones to avoid objects. And in this video, actually, they keep throwing these baseballs and things at this drone, and it keeps dodging it. It's pretty cool. And the latency for this drone is 3.5 milliseconds. So in that video for the car tells you how fast they're reacting. So it's milliseconds. Right now, drones react in tens of milliseconds, I guess. But this reduced it down to 3.5 milliseconds. So it's like a threefold reduction. And at that level of speed, it's just incredible how reactive it is to hitting anything. And they're just throwing balls at this drone. And let me try to email this to you.
Yeah. No, I got it. I'm going to pull it up here in a second.
So it's pretty cool.
What this reminds me of is that video of the guns versus drones.
Yes.
Right, where I thought that the drones were going to survive and dodge everything. But also in that Tesla versus Skydio video, you followed the drone as it like dodged tree branches and wires and all sorts of stuff at like a, I don't know, 10 to 15 foot range. It was really interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'll pull up the video because this sounds fun.
Yes. Fun to be a researcher, throwing balls.
All right, coming up now.
All right. I see nothing.
I know, I got to share my screen, but I'm waiting for it to load.
So.
Okay.
Oh, here you go.
Why is there a black box here?
I don't know. Don't worry about that.
Okay, so here's the drone.
And then they try to throw, I think there's two of them throwing it eventually.
Yeah.
It's like a bee.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And he's close, and it's just dodging it.
Yeah, so it looks like it needs a broader view, maybe? Because it's a little late, right? But you can see it getting better.
Yep.
Or how it will get better.
So that's
fascinating that they can do that already. Wow.
So it's 3.5 milliseconds. So as they get that down more and more, I guess the reaction time comes down to how fast the actual vehicle can move. But it'll know, and it matters how latency of how fast it reacts to even seeing it, and then and also at the same time is judging that the object is moving towards it or coming, not just the object's there, but it's an object that's moving towards it. So it's a lot to consider. I don't know how on earth it's that smart at this point, but it is.
I love it.
That's a little cool thing.
I wanna real quick see if I can find this Skydio versus Tesla.
Let's see that.
All right, here it is. Wait for it to come up. This looks like it might be a shortened version of it. Oh, no. Okay, it's 8 minutes. That was the ad. So, I mean, they start from the beginning. It's on the side of the road. I don't know. I think they're in LA somewhere. Oh, this is because I'd have already watched it. So I got to back up.
It's all right.
All right. See, so the drone is taking all this footage right now, and this is the cab of the car.
Yeah.
And see, watch the drone, how it's dodging tree limbs and wires, and sometimes it'll get ahead of the car.
Yeah.
Of course, a really interesting. Oh yeah, here you go. See that? See how it dodged that wire?
That's amazing.
And then here's tree branches. It's crazy.
Just nothing deters it.
And then it just speeds up to catch back up with the car.
Yeah.
Oh, here it gets a little lost, right? But the car keeps going. Right? Just fascinating.
Car chases will never be the same. They'll just catch them right away.
No. Oh, good point. Yeah. But also a really interesting view of the Tesla.
Yeah.
Look right there. See that? It almost hit that car.
Yeah.
Anyway, great.
That's very cool.
Yeah, very, very fun video to watch.
Wow. Good stuff. Now I want to get a new Tesla now after seeing that. And a Skydio drone.
I know.
Skydio 2.
Well, it's just like Blade Runner, right? You can have the car with the drone attached to it, and
that's right.
I would shoot out and look ahead of you.
That's right.
Oh, that's all I had. Did you have anything?
No, that's it for this week. Or this episode, I should say. It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll meet up next time. More fun stuff. See what big news there is.